Business is an enterprise and entity entailing of commercial, industrial, or professional activities. Now, business this day is an insightful, educating talk show centered on business and finances. It includes a compendium of business news for the week, African and global market, and authentic conversations with seasoned guests in areas of business and finance. My name is Joy Malik, and with me in the studio is my beautiful co-hosts.
Thank you, Joy. My name is Mokota Chinwe.
Well, we have so much in stock for you, but let's go on a quick break, and when we return, business this day continues. So stay tuned.
Hey, let's get to advertise your products and services on our platform. Viewer Television is here to give your business a boost with a touch of professionalism. If you're a brand owner, entrepreneur, proud business owner, let's place your business in the face of your customers. Contact us so we can talk business on 081 2278 or info@viewertv.com.ng. Always remember, we are here for you.
In this 21st century, where all the information we need is now in the palm of our hands. News from around the world, entertainment, celebrity gossip, sports, and much more. The only thing that you need is the right source. Viewer TV is now on the go. Simply check us out on our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter for all the information you need.
Welcome back, if you're just joining us. This is Business This Week on Viewer Television. Now let's look at the aspects of the foreign exchange and fuel crisis that plagued the aviation sector, and now that seem to have led to the decline in the sector's contribution to the gross domestic product by 61.47%. Now, also according to the latest quarter two of 2022 yet of GDP data from the National Bureau of Statistics, the nominal GDP output of the sector crashed from like 84 billion naira in the first quarter of 2022 now to 32 billion naira by the second quarter of this same year.
Yeah, domestic and international airlines operating in the country have been raising their airfares and reducing flights.
Oh,
I guess
yes.
this is due to this crisis. Also, the chairman of United Nigeria Airlines, in an exclusive interview
this week,
recently,
yes. Yeah.
he noted that domestic airlines had been struggling with high operating costs. This is also due to the hike in aviation
now.
fuel.
Like with the hike in aviation fuel and the everything that is going on in the aviation sector, like a ticket is sold for like 100,000 naira.
Yes,
That's for
yes.
just economy. That
Economy.
was sold for how much before? Like 28,000 naira. Now, like the common
Or
man
even
can't
18,000.
18,000. Yes, that's
Yeah.
yes. But now the common man can't even
Can-
fly anymore. And now
Honestly.
let's talk about the
Insecurity.
insecurity in the country, and then what about if you do not have money for flights? How will you not travel by road?
It has become something else to travel by road.
Exactly.
We,
Now,
we need to look at poor road infrastructure because ordinarily a journey that would take about 4 hours now
Yes.
takes about 8
8
hours.
hours, 8,
That
7
is
hours,
if
yes.
you don't get kidnapped or whatever,
or
something
yes,
like
or
that,
accident
or
or,
accident
on the road, like
as a result of poor road.
yes. And now the aviation sector, like government
It's
really
not even
needs-
helping matters.
yes, now the government really need to like put more effort in tackling or curbing this aviation hike this time. And then also the domestic airline have continued to call down on their workforce as the crisis in Nigeria's aviation industry lingers. Now, we heard that plans are on the way to like re-engage some
Okay.
of the disengaged workers,
Workers,
yes,
okay.
and then this would now basically happen when more airplanes belonging to the affected carrier start to like operate.
Okay, we also know that airline officials said those workers that were served were mainly those associated with the day-to-day operations of the airplanes,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
And as the crisis led to the drop in the number of functional aircraft in the sector,
Yes.
well, this came as officials of Dana Air confirmed that though the airline had been out of operations for about a month,
yes, about
yeah,
a month.
they also have plans of resuming operations in September.
Yes, like for instance, no Dan. I remember when they actually went on yes.
Was it
the
a strike? They
Was
strike.
it yeah, or like yes, they just called, like said they are going on a break, and then they had like some troubles at the airports. Passengers were angry. They scattered some of their equipment, and then yeah, so many commotion. And now I prayed, they said that's like about a month ago, and
Ago,
they
yes.
said their operations are like coming back to
Back.
resume
But
operations.
not
and
at
all.
the moment.
Not
I
at
don't
the
think they're
moment.
functioning right now.
No, they are not functioning
Okay.
right now. So I think.
But
I
hopefully
think-
they will resume.
because yes, yeah, because I think everybody loves Dana.
In September now. I guess this is September.
This is September, so
Well, Dana, I
let's
hope you
wait and
resume
see.
soon.
I hope Dana resume soon. So basically, the Nigerian Aviation Authority now said a significant number of airplanes operating across the country are currently grounded due to the crisis of now Nigeria's aviation sector. And then the director general, that's Musa Nubu, said the fleets of aircraft are grounded until their owners carried out adequate maintenance on them.
Yes. Yes. A global agency with the database of airlines in the world confirmed Nuhu's statement that was released on June 30th, 2022
this year, yes,
by CH Aviation, right?
Yeah.
They said that only 44 aircraft were
yeah.
operating in Nigeria, while about 79 were grounded at that time.
Yes, I
Away
know,
from- okay.
like what they're actually trying to say, like those airplanes that are in the airport. You know, when we travel to the airport, you see all those condemned
Airplanes,
yes.
yeah.
So now they're trying to say that they will only resume operations when they try to maintain
Yes.
their
They
airline,
should
and
increase
the maintenance
their
the
maintenance,
same.
yeah.
Yes, because of the crash and everything in the aviation sector. Yes.
All right. Away from that,
Yes.
meanwhile, on NBC report,
yes.
MBS report rather, thank you. It is estimated that Nigerians paid about 1.9 trillion in the last 6 months in indirect tax to the federal government. Now, it's also disclosed that the indirect tax paid by Nigerians represent a 10.29% increase from that of 984 billion paid in the first 2 quarters of 2021. The increase is actually very massive.
Yes,
heightening.
Julian. You know that in that same report, it shows that the taxes grew from 636 billion in Q1 and Q2 of 2020 now to 984 billion. That's, if I'm correct, in the corresponding period of 2021. Now, when they broke everything down, it showed that in first quarter of 2022, Nigerians paid a whooping 584 billion naira indirect tax, to about 500 billion the same year.
That is huge.
That is actually very huge. Like, it's actually,
the figures are alarming.
And what are they using this tax for? What are they using this tax for?
They're using it to develop our country.
Well, yes, we can actually see they are developing the country.
Exactly.
Now let's look at the aspect of dollar reserves, where Nigerian stocks may not be drawing big inflows from investors abroad, because most of the current investments are already trapped in the system. As the dollar reserve hits new lows, and Apex Bank is seizing at every chance to control the greenback. Now, in some way, equities are finding resilience, and then local participation has been keeping the market going since the start of the year. Now, with shares having yielded 20.3% of all, like 5 trillion naira so far this year, Chinwe.
Yeah, Joe, you also know that with half-year financials of big lenders like Access Corporation,
then
GTCO, and United Bank of Africa,
UBA,
they are expected to hit the market in few weeks. I mean, there is even an optimism that they may lift trade further. That is if earnings come out stronger.
Yes.
Also, Stanbic IBTC tops this week's peak on the combined strength of posting a 36% jump in the net profit and declaring a dividend of 1 naira per unit for the first half of the year.
This year.
Well, in other news, The management of Dangote Sugar Refinery PLC says said it is set to reduce the importation of sugar into the country by 40%. The president, Dangote Group,
our own
Dangote.
Our own Dangote, yes.
Yes, he recently revealed in an interview that he was embarking on a phase 2 of his sugar project, which would cover about 100,000 hectares to make the sugar plant, the largest in Africa. I can't wait for this.
And
I can't wait. It's
also
going to pave ways for employment of over 30,000 youths.
Yes,
I mean Nigerian youths or African youths, so to say.
Yes, that's actually very huge.
Hopeful. We're hopeful. This is going to alleviate the issue of unemployment and poverty.
Everything now, I think God is actually making this man try to help the youth.
You never can tell. Maybe he's the new Messiah.
He also said that the integrated sugar complex will be located in Tunga. I think that's a local
somewhere
government in Nasarawa State,
yes.
And then 60,000 hectares of sugar plantation and about 2 sugar factories now with the capacity of 430 tons of refined white sugar per annum. Man, this man is actually making Nigerians right.
Africa as a whole, if you ask me. Yes, because he has companies scattered all over. He has refineries in Ghana, Cameroon,
everywhere, and he's actually making our youth try to work and strive hard. At least he's even he has done more. He has done more. Some people are actually not seeing what this man has done, but he has created way for employment. And now he's even creating more.
You cannot overemphasize on what he has done on employment.
Exactly, he's actually even creating more way for 30,000
more.
Yes,
that is more 30,000 more hopeful Nigerian youths.
Yes,
that is what we're talking about.
Actually well, you're still watching Business This Week on View Television, but let's go on a quick break, and when we return, Business This Week continues. So stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Ike Maton. Being an anchor has been a tremendous experience, from editing the news to reading the news. As an anchor, you have to be objective and impartial. Sometimes you have to put on a very indifferent look, a stoic character, such that you do not display your emotions. But then the stories that we tell, from politics to the economy to insecurity to education, also affect us. And as journalists, we're also affected by stories. From the teleprompter to the lights to the camera to the action to the reading of the news, it's all a synchronization of various activities at the same time. Sometimes you have to listen to feedback, sometimes you have to stop, sometimes you have to continue. Sometimes, there are technical hitches that we can never overlook, but then you have to come up with a strategy, you have to come up with your professionalism to ensure that the audience do not even know what is happening behind the scenes, and then you just have to carry on.
In this 21st century, where all the information we need is now in the palm of our hands. News from around the world, entertainment, celebrity gossip, sports, and much more. The only thing that you need is the right source. Viewer TV is now on the go. Simply check us out on our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter for all the information you need.
Welcome back, and in case you're just joining us, this is Business This Week on Viewer Television. Now let's talk about inflation and how consumers of household kerosene paid 99% more to purchase just a gallon of kerosene in the last 1 year. I mean, a gallon of kerosene was sold for 790 naira, right?
Yes,
790 naira
yes.
in July 2022.
Yes, I remember 790 naira. Now, the highest average price per gallon in July 2022 was recorded in Enugu with 1,000 naira. You can imagine kerosene sold for 1,000
naira per gallon.
Followed by Ekiti, 990 naira. Now, if you just add 10 naira to that, it will make it 1,000 naira. So what is the difference? And then Oshun with 949 naira. Now, on the other hand, the lowest price was recorded in Bayelsa because it is like the motherland of oil, and then followed by Benue with 655 naira, and then the motherland of that's River State with 655 naira. Like kerosene. I remember when I was actually little, my mom would send me to get
naira.
To buy kerosene. How much was kerosene that time? But now,
how did we get here?
Kerosene now is now a very big thing.
How did we get here?
Like the common man can't
How would they survive?
How would they survive? Even as low as using firewood to cook, you must use kerosene.
Firewood is also expensive. We're not
even
even talking about firewood.
We're not even talking about the wood now. Now, how do they expect the common man to survive? How do they expect the common man to survive? And that aside, now gas is now a big man. It is big.
It has always been big, but I think right now it is entirely for the big people.
Yes, I heard the federal government has pulled the estimated amount required to bridge Nigeria's gas infrastructure at 2 billion naira annually.
$2 billion.
And then Minister of Petroleum said the key cause of poor gas production was the gas infrastructure deficit across the country. Chinwe, what is actually happening?
Well, recently the minister charged the nine-member council.
Yes, 9-member.
Yeah, exactly, to work to mobilize funds for the provision of the critical infrastructure for the gas industry.
Yes, and then
price of refilling 12.5 kg cylinder gas has increased by 122%. From 4,000 naira in July 2021. Joy, that is alarming.
That is alarming. The lowest average price now. Now they say it is the lowest. The lowest average price was recorded in Castina, and it was sold for 835 naira, and then followed by Yobe and Kano, which Yobe was sold for 8,383 naira. I can remember very well. And then Kano was sold for 8,614 naira respectively. What is happening? What is happening? What's happening, Chinwe? What is happening?
I wonder. And to think that we are an oil producing nation.
Oil producing nation.
Oil producing. What are we then producing?
What are we producing, Chinwe? What are we producing?
If we can't even afford our own products here, what are we producing?
Are we actually producing? No.
Well, away from that, let's talk tax. It is actually very important. The federal government has projected an average of 120 trillion as consumption expenditure by Nigerians, on which value-added tax will be charged between 2023 and 2025.
Tax is actually very important. Tax is actually very important in every country.
Yeah.
It sustains the country. It helps develop the country. It does so many things.
It stabilizes the economy,
and that's why that's why tax is actually very important. And then according to that same report, which you just said, consumption expenditure on which VAT will be charged from likely increase from about average of 35
trillion.
Yes, in 2023. And then 40 trillion in 2024 and 45 trillion in 2025.
And the list goes on and on.
That's after adjusting, after assumption zero-rated items and companies whose turnover falls below the 25 million naira threshold. This means the consumption expenditure in a 3-year period will stand at about
120 trillion.
120 trillion.
Exactly.
And then, let's move away from that. Let's enter wheat. Wheat is important, for people that I heard it's good for people with diabetes. And
I guess wheat is important for everything.
Everything, yes.
Yes.
It's actually important for everything.
It's being used in pastries, like cake, bread.
Yes.
You can use it with swallow.
Exactly.
You can also use it in making brews. those drinks,
Yes,
beer.
yes,
Yes,
yes.
I know
And
it's
then,
one of the
yes,
components
yes,
there.
biscuit and
So
all,
wheat is
actually
important.
very, yes. And then the federal government says Nigerians spend 6 billion naira on the importation of wheat into
Only
the country.
wheat, only.
Between 2016 and 2020, and a period of
That's just a period of 5 years.
And the Mahmoud Speaker, that's the Minister of Agriculture. Yeah, he said this at the stakeholders workshop. I thought we actually produce wheat.
No, we don't produce wheat. Do we produce wheat?
We actually do, in some parts of the country.
If we do produce wheat, we definitely do not produce enough wheat to go around.
I think so.
Okay, the minister also said that the growing population and consumption rate of wheat and its products, Nigeria had no other option than to boost its productivity to meet the country's increasingly demand. Okay, well, according to you, Nigeria actually produces wheat. According to you, yes. Nigeria,
yes.
but like I said, we do not produce enough.
Yes.
Obviously. If not, why would we import still?
Why would we import?
That huge amount.
And wheat plays a very vital role in our daily consumption. I mean, from pastries, swallows, and so on. God will help us.
Amen. All right, because of time, that's all we can take on business this week.
Yes.
Remember, you can watch us every weekend, everywhere you are, by 3 p.m. We'll show you a different day on economy and trends, because above all, business is about vision.
Many thanks.
Thanks for watching.
I am Jay Malik,
And I am Woko Chachiwe.
See you next week.
Bye for now.